What's up, everyone? Today's video, I'm gonna cover something that's a pretty basic mechanic in Noita, but there's been a recent discovery that I think is worth talking about. I don't know if it's necessarily a recent discovery, maybe somebody discovered it a long time ago, but it was only brought up recently to me and made aware to me by the community, so I thought it's definitely something to look into and to talk about, not just for the new guys, but maybe some of the experienced players would be interested in this as well. So we're going to discuss how to escape the Holy Mountain, and why you would do it, and different mechanics about it. So first off, let's discuss why you would want to escape the Holy Mountain without collapsing it. So the obvious route to walk out of the Holy Mountain is right here. However, there is a red hitbox that is highlighted here. That obviously in game it's invisible, you can't see it. But using this image, you can know where this hitbox is at, and if the player crosses this point into this hitbox in any direction, it will collapse the Holy Mountain. And if the Holy Mountain collapses, you actually lose your ability to edit your wands in this mountain. So, with that in mind, if you can escape the mountain without collapsing it, you can come back here and edit whenever you would like. So one of the most popular perks in the game is edit wands everywhere, and I always tell people that perk is a convenience, not a necessity, and that's because you can always find a way out of the mountain. It's almost always. I guess the early mountains, sometimes it can be kind of tricky, because if you don't get the right materials, maybe you can't come up with a method to escape, but usually in the later mountains, you almost always have a method to escape. Honestly, whenever it comes to the first Holy Mountain, I feel like majority of the time I do have a method to escape. So if you think creatively enough and you plan ahead, usually there's a way out of here. Okay, so let's discuss the basic ways to get out of the mountain. Obviously, you can just use teleport and put your back up against this wall and shoot at an angle so that you do not hit the hitbox, so the mountain does not collapse. And while I cannot edit when I'm out here, I know that I can go find wands, do whatever I want to do, and then return back to the mountain. So let's say I found a really good chainsaw wand. Well, once I found the good chainsaw wand, I can then go back in here and edit whatever I want off of that wand, fix it up, return into the level. This allows you to have a much better wand than what the level is usually balanced for you to have at that point. That's mainly true for the early levels. The late game, they expect you to be doing lots of editing and all that. But in the very first level, I mean, the fact that you can go back and edit over and over will end up, even though it's just the first mountain, you can end up with a wand that is worthy of killing the ultra late game enemies, just because you keep coming back here and editing as much as you would like. So another thing worth talking about when it comes to the whole teleport method is that there is a spell called Return. And when you cast it, what happens is there is a point of return, and after a couple seconds, it pulls your character back to that. So if you were to put that after a trigger and you shoot it, you can basically place the point of return wherever you would like. So similar to the teleport, using this method, you just shoot past the hitbox zone, and then it'll yank my character out here, which will then keep me from going in the collapse zone. And you do the same thing whenever you want to go back, of course. Don't walk past the collapse. It pulls me back up there. Okay, so we've covered. There are other teleport methods. I'm mainly just trying to show the mechanic off, and then it's up to you to come up with your own creative methods. But those are two really popular ones right there. So the recent thing that was brought to my attention was a way to dig out of the Holy Mountain without pissing off the gods. That I did not know was actually possible. I assumed that you had to teleport out, some method that did not destroy the mountain if you wanted to not anger the gods. But thanks to some big brainers out there in the community, in fact, I have another image here provided by Latali, a second image that shows you the points in which if you break the mountain right here, that's when the gods get angry. So here's two of the points, and you can kind of see it there too. So if you look at these two images, you'll see that the hitbox, the red box, actually goes back up to the Holy Mountain wall, and then this one is actually a little ways back from the wall. So if we go in between this and around this zone here, if we go around it, we could actually dig through the Holy Mountain, not anger the gods, and not collapse the mountain. It's pretty crazy. So let's try it out. In fact, I would recommend moving this statue right here. I've seen people get pushed around whenever they're doing this method by that statue. It can be kind of annoying. So you put your back up against the wall, and you're going to shoot directly up. You just want to shoot straight up. You don't want to risk pissing off the gods, because if you shoot at an angle, it'll piss them off. So then you just go to this newly dug area, you go up and over, and you just shoot on down. And there you go. We have exited the Holy Mountain. Can't edit out here, but we have not angered the gods. We can just go back in whenever we would like and still edit. This is pretty cool. It's not like game changer, but I do think it's a mechanic worth knowing, because some players are very afraid of fighting the shopkeeper. I think that it's important that you learn how to deal with them. In fact, I have a video showing you very easy methods to kill Steve, aka the shopkeeper that gets summoned in here. But at least this method is now known so that players, if they really hate fighting them, they have an alternative to dig out. Obviously, you can do this with Luminous Drill as well. There's a couple different ways you can dig out, but this, you know, this is just a general mechanic. It doesn't mean it has to be black hole. Just understand that you dig a pattern like that, and you can escape without having to deal with the shopkeeper. Now, with that said, a couple more things that is worth noting for the newer players is that whenever you're trying to avoid this trigger point, it's looking for the player to cross this point. If you cross it as something else, then it still does not collapse. For example, if you polymorph yourself into a sheep, you can walk right past the trigger point. It will not collapse. In fact, you can walk on back. It does not collapse. It has to be the player. So if you polymorph yourself out and then you walk as a regular player back, it will collapse. Though I would not recommend using the polymorphing into a sheep method, because when you're a sheep, you have the health of a sheep, so you'll pretty much die to anything. If something breathes on you, you're dead. I would usually recommend using chaotic poly, but no, with chaotic poly, there is that small variable of risk that you could polymorph into like a worm or something that digs the mountain and ends up, you know, causing a little bit of chaos. Now, that's unlikely, but yeah, see, there you go. You just transform, you go past it, and this guy has lots of health, so I know he's not about to die. And for the most part, most things are not aggressive towards this guy anyways. Same thing when returning. I'm gonna go back over here. In fact, whenever you're returning, you can actually stand on the ledge right here, which you can see in this image right here. There is a small ledge that you can stand on and will not piss off the gods. Like, I mean, you will not collapse the mountain. So just know that whenever you get here, though, you do need to still, you know, polymorph and walk back in here to make sure that it doesn't collapse the mountain. A couple more techniques, I guess, to collapse besides the poly. Again, know that these methods that I'm showing you are not every method to escape the mountain. It's just general mechanics. It's from there, you can come up with like hundreds of ways, if not thousands of ways, to escape the mountain. Here's the method to escape the mountain using Acid Trail. This one will piss off the gods. I haven't thought of a creative way to do this without pissing off the gods. But you're just dumping acid on the ground. The acid is digging away at the mountain. We're going to have to kill Steve real quick here, but we freeze him, we kick him, no problem. But yeah, so let's see, keep dumping the acid on the ground. And yeah, there you go. There's another method to escape the mountain. This one, however, does involve having to anger the gods. If you do anger the gods, from that point forward, you have to deal with that shopkeeper, which people refer to as Steve. You have to fight him from that point forward. In fact, at the next mountain, there will be another small Steve. If you kill 3 of them, so we've killed 1, if we kill 2 more, then for the future Holy Mountains, you have to deal with a big version of Steve, referred to as Scoud or Big Steve. So yeah, in Big Steve is pretty dangerous. So know that there are reasons to escape the mountain without just like you know, just destroying it, because it is annoying to have to deal with fighting the small Steves. The small Steves no problem. The Big Steve, I guess, is the issue. Just another note though: if you polymorph Steve and then kill the polymorphed version of Steve, so let's say you turn Steve into a sheep and then you kill him, that does not count as a shopkeeper kill. Meaning, you could kill Steve by polymorphing him 1,000 times and you will never bring in Big Steve. So that's something worth noting there. Also, you know, there's anything with acid really works. You know, this is another way you could use the acid cloud and just summon it in, and oops, don't stand under it. Use the acid to dig out. You may have to do a couple summon in of the clouds, but you get the idea. There's tons more ways, but this should cover the general mechanics to keep your holy mountain from collapsing, so that you can edit whenever you would like. But just know that if you walk past it, even a hair, you just barely go in there, it does collapse. And if you're curious about the player's hitbox, if you shove your head into the ceiling, you can get an idea of where your hitbox is at on your character. So know that's around that like chest area. That's the zone that on the character cannot pass into that red box. That's your hitbox that will collapse the mountain. So once you've collapsed the mountain, it's too late for you to edit in there. You cannot go back in here and make it. Oh, in fact, there's a curse still going. You have to wait 30 seconds for the curse to go away. It's something like 30 seconds. But once you return in there, it will no longer let you edit. So while that would be a bad thing in this scenario, know that again, when you go to the next holy mountain, you can still keep that mountain intact and keep that one available for your editing. So it's not a big deal if you let your first or second holy mountain collapse. Just know in general, it is a pretty good mechanic to use if you don't have edit wands everywhere. So hopefully I helped out some new guys. I will be posting more videos. It's just I've been slacking the last week, just been relaxing, taking it easy. But yeah, I'll post some more videos soon. I appreciate all the very generous comments and the likes and all that you guys have been doing on the videos. It's been a ton of fun making content for you guys on YouTube, and I will continue to post more. But I got to go do some streaming right now. I'm running late. Deuces, you guys.